Margulis, and I work for Listingbook. Who here has heard of us, uses us, tries to use us, hasn't used us, hasn't used Listingbooks? Okay, that's what we're here for today. Okay, I'm going to take you guys through start to finish what Listingbook's really about in brief, as well as show you how to use the new system. Who here is used to the old system? Who here is playing around with the new system? Okay, a little bit. Everything, pretty much, that you were used to is there. It's just rearranged. And it looks a little bit different. And it's had a little bit of a facelift, yeah? Okay? But it's all there. Listingbook, including our logo, is different. A little bit about me. I started my career in real estate as a mortgage lender back in 1999. And I was a mortgage lender, then a mortgage banker. Did all that fun stuff in Southern California. I recently, in the last 2 years in July, moved to Spokane. I was done with the heat, I was done with the smog. I now live in Spokane. I've been with the company off and on now since the beginning of 2009. I was one of the original ones that came here and brought Listingbook to you back in 2009. So this is kind of fun for me. This is my first time back since then. So welcome, welcome. Thank you for getting out of bed for me. What Listingbook is a client servicing platform that you give to your clients, your buyers, your sellers, your prospects, your suspects, anybody with a pulse, you can give to them, okay? And the reason I say that, not to be completely funny, but is because you don't know when somebody's going to think about buying real estate, okay? And the fact of the matter is that people go to a lot of different websites to get information about real estate. And what Listingbook was designed to do was to eliminate those people from going to those 4 and 5 and 6 different websites, trying to get the best information they can for them. You know, Zillow, Yahoo Real Estate, Realtor.com, places that aren't really that up to date, right? I mean, I've heard comments about Realtor.com that houses were still showing active 3 years later after they had sold. They're really good at putting stuff up. They're not so good at taking stuff down. You know, and so they're going to all these different places trying to get the best information they can. I go on the internet all the time to research things. I don't get accurate information all the time, probably. I mean, anybody here trust Wikipedia? Everybody's learned to kind of read with a grain of salt, right? So there's a lot of misinformation on the internet, but it's here to stay. So what do we do about it? Okay. So back in the year 2000, actually, a realtor and her husband, who was a computer programmer, decided, hey, let's try to do something different. Let's do this better. And they started this company, they started this product that they haven't really named yet. And they call it Listingbook. Way back then when they started writing it. And they basically used it for themselves and then gave it to the office people. And it grew from there. What they didn't know is they had given an account to somebody who invested in small companies. And he purchased a home using Listingbook and loved it in the Tri-Cities area of Greensboro, North Carolina, and said, how much to take it off your hands? And so he owns it still today, and it's continually developing and continually growing. Okay? It's not going away. I've had a 2-year hiatus from Listingbook, went and did something else, came back to the company just recently, and these have been my first times back since 2 years ago. My first couple of presentations were yesterday, so it's been a lot of fun. I feel like I rode a bike for a little bit yesterday. It's a little shaky, but you know, you get it. Listingbook is all about giving your clients the ability to search. They can save their search, they can change their search, they can search for whatever they want in Listingbook, and it is information that's accurate. Okay? We have a contract, we have an agreement with IMLS that allows us to get your information every 30 minutes, and so we know that that information is up to date and accurate. They go in there and they set searches, they can search for whatever they want, and guess who knows about it? You do. Okay? Isn't that a great thing? When they're out on Realtor.com, do you know it? Not unless they call you and ask to see that house that was sold 3 years ago, right? Hey, I want to see this one. Probably not. Prices were different then. It's a great thing. You're big brother for your clients, big sister. Okay? You get to watch what they're doing. You can assist them, but more importantly, you get to sit back and watch and see when they get serious about buying or selling real estate. Yes, it's not just for buyers, okay? It really does cut down the amount of time that clients tend to linger. I use the term linger. How long do you typically show somebody houses before they buy something? I call that the linger period. Right? They've been looking at houses and driving me around, and I put 15 tanks of gas in my car for the last 9 months, and they still haven't bought it, right? That sort of thing. So this alleviates that as well, because they can see what's going on, they can change their search criteria, they can narrow in on what they're really serious about ahead of time. Created by realtors for realtors, I talked about that already. It's really built, again, to build and enhance and preserve those relationships. When I say preserve, I've got a buddy whose website I'll show you here in a little while. His name is Oscar Silva. I did loans with him for 8 years. He moved on to real estate, I didn't. When mortgages got bad, he decided to go learn the other trade, the other half of what you all do. I decided to do something else and do this. I like to teach. So, preserve those relationships. What do I mean? My parents bought a condo from Oscar 2 years ago. My mom, I'm told by Oscar, still signs in a listing book every single day and goes and looks. Mike, thanks. He says, by the way, your mom was on this thing yesterday. Thanks. Didn't need to know that. Okay. When they decide to find something else and move, I'll be second to know. He'll be first. Okay. That's how it works. Okay. He knows when people get serious. He knows that when they're serious, he can see what they've been looking at. He can look at those pictures. He can see what they rejected and they don't like, and he can see those pictures, and then he can narrow in and suggest a couple homes, and he says now he typically shows maybe 75 houses before they buy something, because he knows exactly what they want. Okay? He knows what's going on with them. For sellers, I haven't talked much about them, but same kind of thing. You set up a seller in Listing Book, and now they have data that they can see, and by the way, they don't even have to be a seller yet. They can be thinking about selling. And you set them up in the system, and they can see what's going on in the neighborhood. They can see those houses that are on the market. They can see what comes on and goes off. They can see the price changes. Okay, that's a really neat tool when you're talking about pricing a house. How many of you have to chase your clients around and try to reprice their house? Okay, I hear stories all the time of clients chasing their realtor around to change their price because they can see what's going on, and that just never happened before, ever. And I always have some money savings tips with this, okay? Listing Book really is a member service. It's a member benefit. You pay your dues, you get a free version of Listing Book. We do have an upgraded version of Listing Book. I'll get into that later, okay? Not to scare anybody. Is that an accurate statistic? 90% of consumers begin their real estate search online? I think it's conservative, probably, yeah. And they use 4 or 5 different websites. Again, trying to keep them off of those. Why? Number one reason, Realtor.com. Who shows up on Realtor.com? Everybody else but you, right? Right? Who shows up on Zillow? Everybody else but you. You know, I can go over here and go, oh, they're highly rated. Check that person off, write them a message, and all of a sudden they're my realtor. Okay? We're trying to get away from that. Listing Book is presented from you to your clients. They have a question, they ask you. Okay. This is a sample of an invitation to Listing Book. Okay. So you send somebody an account, let's say Bob Smith. Put him in there. You put his email address in. You've already talked to Bob about it. He already knows what's coming. You send him this. Here it is. Okay. Dear Kevin Logamy, sample homes in your area for sale. Confirm now. As long as he confirms, because it is invitation only, he's got an account for Listing Book sponsored by you. Okay. You start to see morning reports. Everybody gets a morning report. Buyers get morning reports. Sellers get morning reports. Your prospects get morning reports. More importantly for you, you get morning reports so you can see what your clients have been doing. Okay, the previous day, what's been presented to them, what they've seen, etc. So that's an important aspect. So now you've got your Starbucks cup, and you're sitting there looking at your morning report going, oh gosh, I gotta make some phone calls. I got some busy people, I know what's going on. How does that feel rather than waking up going, I wonder who I should call first? Feels pretty good. I like direction in my life. Okay. Help and training. Listingbook is big on help and training. Today you get me. Okay. But any other day of the week when I'm not here, you can feel free to go on to, there's a need help button here, I'll point out later. And that will populate pre-recorded webinars, or if you want to attend a live one, you can, where you can actually interact and ask questions. Typically we work in teams, so someone's talking, somebody else is answering questions. Okay? And that way you're not interrupting, the instructor's going, oh gosh. I've tried to do both. It's pretty tricky. Anybody here ever try to give an online presentation and try to answer questions at the same time? It gets tricky. You can't do it. There's a lot of time in there. Okay. I'm going to jump off my presentation right now though and go into a live system. Listingbook.com. This is our main page. You have 3 ways that you're going to be able to sign into Listingbook. Right now, you have 2. Yesterday I told everybody the 3rd was already active. Greg corrected me, told me it's next week. Okay. So I'll teach you how to do it now. You'll know how to do it next week. And that's called single sign-on. Okay. You're going to go into your Paragon system just like you always have. Sign in like you always have, and there'll be a big button that'll just take you right into your account. Isn't that cool? No having to sign in twice to something else. No having to come here if you don't want to. Okay, you're already there, you're already signed in, bingo. But for right now, until next week, you've got your morning report. When you get your morning report, you click on a link, it'll take you in. And you've got listingbook.com where you can click login. Choose that you are a real estate professional. Everybody say it with me. I am a real estate professional. Not happening this morning, not yet. We'll get the coffee flowing, we'll be okay. Choose your state, not your state of mind. Intermountain. We'll get ourselves signed in here, and away we go. Take this moment to as long as my internet connection is good. Okay. So welcome to your new listing book. Did anybody freak out when you saw it? And you said, oh, what's this? You know what? I've done that with plenty of systems. Operating systems, and you're just like, Windows, the best example of that, right? I think Apple's done a really good job of kind of progressing. Windows, one day you flip it on, you're like, oh man, what is this? No idea why we're spinning. Okay, what you'll see is my front page. Okay, this is my front page, not yours. You'll have an area here where you can see average days on market. So if you want to look up any location, by the way, it'll give you data for anywhere from here. And top sales by zip code. Over here, it's got some little houses here. This is where we start getting graphical. Okay, this is why we needed the facelift. Everybody said, give us a better search tool. Give us a better search tool. All we have is squares and rectangles, 4-sided objects, right? So we did all of that, and we got more graphical. So you've got the Zillow kind of look and feel, if you will, of being able to search using hexagons and whatever else you want to do. I drew Pac-Mans on mine yesterday. It's pretty cool. Little cheese dots and Pac-Man. Okay, you'll see that. But you've got some houses here. This is all clickable. You've got a calendar down here. How many of you use more than one calendar in your life? I use probably 3. You know, I've got the Gmail calendar. I've got my iPhone calendar. I've got calendars coming out of my ears trying to sync my life. Right? I've got Outlook for work. Anyway, this is yet another calendar. If you choose to use it, great. If not, great. Okay? But it's a tool there for you. It's entirely up to you. Okay, yeah, I'm getting laughs already this morning. You will also see on this screen clients who need attention. Okay, we've implemented some new features. The old system, there were places where you could drop off while you were inputting clients or a prospect. And if you didn't click save, or if you didn't take the thing far enough, you didn't get to a point where it sent an invitation to somebody. And you would never know that until you called customer service and said, I've been sending things to people and they're not getting them and I don't know what's going on. You weren't sending them, okay? We've got new implementation here. This thing will keep track of you. It'll stay on top of you so that you don't have to think about those things. If you dropped off somewhere and you got a phone call and you had to hurry up and go look at something else, it'll warn you. Hey, so-and-so's not completed their home search, or so-and-so hasn't been sent that invitation yet. Do you want to do that now? And they'll have that feature there so you can go back to it. Okay? You don't have to worry about forgetting to go back into it. From here, across the top, now I'm one of these guys that carries my own projector. I'm used to it being about this high, so my finger pointer comes in really handy. Oh, a little bit short for this one, so I'm just going to use my mouse. Across the top here, so here's the front page. Search, Client Manager, My Account, Morning Report, My Listings, and Products and Services. The Need Help button, right up here, okay? So if you need help. By the way, we offer help for you via phone. We have customer service for you and your clients. If they decide they need help and they want to call, they'll talk to them. They speak English, it's just a southern dialect. Okay, so if you understand Greensboro, you're in good shape. All right. I love starting in my account. Why? Because I don't know if I'm up to date. Okay? I want to make sure I'm up to date on my phone numbers, my email address, my recent photo, my company logo, all my features that I had set in the old system. Maybe they didn't transfer over properly. Something happened. I had a couple of gals yesterday who said, I'm not getting my morning report anymore. What happened? Probably there, because you have the option to shut it off now. And your clients have the option to get it weekly if they want instead of daily. Okay, they've got all of those tools now. So I like to start on my account. And you'll see here messages, and of course my little old training system here. Nobody's writing me, right? Nobody's talking back to me except myself. That's scary. Okay, my calendar, my address book, and my settings. I'm going to click on settings. That'll take us into where we want to go. And just like the old system, we've got two tabs here. Personal settings, website settings. Okay, so we're going to set up our personal settings first. And I can choose to either click on the edit settings or I can click the little drop downs. And it'll open up each section and it'll ask me to save. And it'll repeat itself to ask me to save. And it'll make sure that I'm not going to miss anything. So fill this out. First, last, company name. Everybody uses their home phone number, right? I think they're just having fun. I don't know a single person that hands out their home phone number for business. Your signature, just know that it's not HTML capable. So if you have a link that says, join me on Facebook, and it linked to your Facebook page, it'll just say join me on Facebook without a link. So make sure you type out your Facebook page URL. Okay. We do that, I don't know for what reason, but probably to cut down on spam and so forth. But put in your signature in here. When you send messages internally through Listingbook, that'll be attached to the bottom of your email. Okay? Put thank you and your name, and you don't have to worry about typing your name every time. Click Save. My professional information is next. When the big wheel stops spinning.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
What if you have a partner and you want to put both the names at the heading?
You could try. What I would suggest is first and last, first and last. However, depending on how you're set up, if you each have a Listingbook account, you can also share data within Listingbook. So if you're signed in, you can see your partner's information and vice versa. So we have a lot of features for that. But yeah, what I would suggest is first and last, first and last.
Okay.
All right. Professional information, languages I speak, kind of speak English. Your specialties, your designations, okay? So there's nothing in there where you can add one if there's something missing. All you can do is suggest to customer service to add some. And as they hear it more and more, they tend to add things in. Here we go. But do choose English. Nobody's left the session yet, so I'm assuming we all speak English. And any other languages you happen to speak. Your specialties, okay, so if your specialty is relocation, great, check it off. Your designations, etc. Click Save, moving on. Your images. This will be your headshot and your company logo, okay. Everybody has a headshot and a company logo, I hope. Okay. You can load those into here. So there's me. Email preferences, service options, you want to spend a little bit of time in and reading through, okay? Because this is where your options, your features, your nitpicky, how do I want to set myself up, what do I want to be notified about, etc. comes in. So, big spinning wheel.
While that's spinning on the images, if we have a branded image for our team and the company logo,
That would be
can
cool.
I add them?
Totally, totally. Anybody here noticed the big spinning wheel takes a while sometimes? Okay. I'm going to address it because it comes up and it's coming up everywhere. And video camera folks who are in Twin who are going to see this later will probably be asking the same question. What's with the spinning wheel? The spinning wheel is all about our server right now. Okay. We've got two servers. We've got the old system, we've got the new system. They're working on moving the new system to a permanent server, permanent solution. They're building that now. I'm told it should be done within the next couple of weeks. And then it'll be just as lightning fast as the old system was. But for now, sometimes it goes really quick, and other times it's like, what happened?
What's the timeline on that? I've got clients that they want to use this
Because of the spinning wheel? I'm told 2 to 3 weeks for most. That's where we're at. So,
awesome.
yeah. So down here, email preferences. Notify me immediately if there are changes to the following. Property notes. Listingbook allows your clients to leave notes. Select yes if you want to be alerted. Yeah. Yes, I do. You know why? I might be out in the field with somebody else, another client. How nice would it be to not have to get all the way back to the office to get a note so that I can go all the way back to where I just was, right? Get that note now and I'm already here, I can deal with it. News prospect alert. How many of you would like to be notified when somebody signs themselves up for Listingbook and you have an account? They have an account with you. Yeah, right? You don't want people freewheeling the system. I've seen it too much. Agents who had no idea they had prospects in the system and they've been looking up the, I mean, you couldn't believe, in the thousands. Looking at houses in the thousands in Phoenix, for example, and it's just like, wow, I didn't even know they were there. Didn't even know they were there this whole time. And we've updated the system there too, the client manager, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. We've updated that too, so it's easier to see everybody all at once instead of having to know to switch between the client and prospect. Okay. Seller assigned. You will be alerted when a client has assigned one of your listings to their folder. Click yes if you want to be alerted by email when a client assigns your listing to their folder. So let's say you put a seller in, or maybe they're a buyer and a seller, okay, and you've got their listing and you haven't set up their listing as a seller on their account, they can do that for you, okay, and it'll notify you. And it'll notify you because you want to be able to set up a CMA, you want to be able to go do all those things, make sure the search area is correct, you know, because, you know, a seller might think that 4 square miles is adequate for competition area. Scary, right? 4 square miles is huge. So 4 square blocks is sometimes huge. Market updates. Okay, Listingbook will email local market updates to keep you informed of properties and market conditions that match your home finder or assigned properties. I had a realtor ask me about this yesterday. I saw an open house and it wasn't assigned to anybody, and I couldn't figure out what it was from or who it was from or what was going on. It was on my morning report. It was one of these. Okay, so based on how the realtor had been searching in Listingbook, it had sent her suggested open house, not attached to anybody in particular. Okay, so just to say, hey, maybe you know somebody who's, we'll do that. We'll do that for you. Maybe you know somebody who will want this. Changes to calendar, new messages from agents, sure. You know, right on the property detail page, there's a link where you can email the listing agent right through Listingbook. Great, it works. It's a really great system for that. New system messages, up to you. You know, we'll send system updates to say, hey, we upgraded those servers, or, you know, hey, we're gonna be maintenance down for 3 hours in the middle of the night on Sunday, just so you know. So those are those system messages. And then promotion results available, that's for property promotions, which I'll also talk about, okay? Service options, a little shorter, okay? Featured listings, again, this goes with home, the open houses, the featured listings, property promotions. Featured listing allows your client to purchase credits and schedule a featured listing promotion for their property. Yes, we've given the seller the ability to advertise their own home through Listingbook. Does that sound strange? Maybe a little bit. You know what we didn't give them the ability to do? Schedule an open house for you. Okay? We're not doing that. So we don't want to tie you down to something and have your client do it for you. But they can advertise a featured listing. In some areas, it's acceptable, and maybe it is here, maybe not, but a lot of companies will do real limited type agreements on their listings. They say, hey, we'll list this for you, but you're going to advertise it. That gives them a way to advertise it, okay, those people. So they can do that. And then account sharing. So for those teams, partners. How many more do we have in the room? Teams, partners, okay. You can share with an agent in your office. Even if you're not a team, maybe you're going on vacation. Anybody here want to go on vacation? No? I got a vacation when I got on a plane yesterday morning, right? When I get on an airplane, I'm instantly on vacation. This is vacation for me. Look up the other agent, add their user ID. You can tell the system what you want to share with them, what you don't want to share with them. You can turn it back off when you get back from vacation. Okay? You can do that for them when they go on vacation. Make sure that you're being nice that way. Okay, questions so far? Doing pretty good, huh? I think it's pretty straightforward stuff. I just like to point it out and make sure that you do it. Okay? Make sure you do it. And it wasn't even spending this long yesterday. Yesterday was a better day. More people must use it on Thursday. Taxing the system. I know it's not the internet connection. Okay, so website settings. Now, I told you I'd talk about the upgrade. Okay, yes, there's an upgrade to Listingbook. It is, while I'm here in town, $149.95 for a year. And one of those things, of the 6 or 7 things that it comes with, big things, is a fully functioning website. Okay, how many of you have a fully functioning website already? How many of you pay a lot more than $150 a year for it? How many of you have a website that does something for you? Have you gotten leads from it? Great. How many of you have a website because somebody told you to? And that's how you feel about it, okay? Let's be honest, right? It's a rarity, okay? Usually there's nobody that raises their hand. Occasionally I get 1, maybe 2, that raise their hand in a room and say, yeah, my website does. It gets it done and it's getting it done, okay? Here's my website. This is the upgraded website. In a minute I'll show you Oscar's and what's different about it, but there's my headshot, there's my company logo, okay? So that'd be you, not me, right? It won't be a Listingbook logo there for you. My biography, I had to write this in the third person a while back for somebody, and I thought, let me just use it, and then I thought, it's going to be really weird reading that to myself. Sam has been. My languages, specialty, designations, community activities, external links, okay, put a link to Disneyland. That would be a real vacation, right? Making sure my kids don't get lost, that's a vacation. But the big part of this, okay, and you've got some tools across the top. The big part of this website is this lead capture tool. Okay, first, last, email, phone number is an optional thing. You don't have to check the box to make them give you a phone number to get in. But this is the big part of this website. It's lead capture. Yes?
Do they have to sign up for a Listingbook account to go any further into your website?
Yes. Yes. So you either have to give it to them yourself, or they have to sign up here and get it from you. Okay? We are invitation only, and reason for that is to keep out, first of all, spam bots. because this is gonna send them an invitation to their email that they have to confirm. Okay, so it has to be a valid email address.
Okay.
They can call themselves Elvis Presley if they want, but, you know, they have to give you a valid email. But it makes sure that people that are in there are serious. Okay. Yeah,
Can you integrate that into your own personal website, the media capture portion of it?
I've seen it done. I have seen it done. If you've got somebody really talented with a computer, they could do it. There might be one other place, I'll take a look and see where, put on another website as well. I know we did it one time. The buying, selling services, these are canned pages. The reason we can them, in other words, you can't change them, okay? The reason it's canned information is because we want you to be realtors, not people who write web pages, okay? And it's pretty much stuff you hear all the time or asked all the time anyway, but there's a mortgage calculator, there's a link to buying versus selling, how to find a house, and then it talks about Listingbook and what they can expect by getting that account, okay? What types of reports and the interaction that they can have with you. Sellers, same sorts of things. Okay, picking movers, 10 must-dos, staging to sell, closing day checklist. Their daily market analysis, getting updates to their inbox on what's going on in the neighborhood around them, etc. And then services is more for the homeowner, I think. New homeowner, home sweet home improvements, tip-offs to potential rip-offs, hiring a contractor, a lot of things that people look for on a daily basis on the internet. Testimonials.
Sorry, I might have missed
No,
what
no
you
problem.
said. So if a potential client comes to this page, they can go across those tabs
Yep.
without signing in?
Right, they can go across those tabs, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this web page, they can see the whole thing of this web page. Where I was earlier, where we can go search, do actual searches and
No.
stuff, no,
Okay.
until they have an account, yeah. Yeah, thanks for clarifying that. There's my testimonial, blah, blah, blah. Okay, ta-da. Full of hot air, aren't I? Contact is just that. It's a blank form field where they can fill out their first and last name and email address and a comment, question, whatever they have, and that'll be sent to me. Yeah. The really cool thing that Oscar's does that mine doesn't do, okay? I have a, what you call a live training account. I don't have listings here. I don't have listings anywhere. Oscar does. He has listings. He's in Southern California, again, and these are his listings. But what I really like about Oscar's website here is that you can flip through his listings. Okay, this is the interactive, a little more interactive part. So if you have listings, or you know somebody in your office who has listings, you can borrow them, okay, and add them to your own book, just within your office. It has to be underneath your roof. It doesn't matter if your broker has 4 offices or 14 offices, you can't borrow from somebody down the street. It has to be under your roof, okay? And you can borrow with that person, and it shows as if they're your featured listings. And then you've got a tab here for company listings. And what that does is it opens up another window, and we can go through, he's at Rodeo Realty, it's a Sotheby's type place. And these are all the company listings and how those show. And then that final tab, any open houses in the area that are being advertised through Listingbook for this weekend. Okay. So these are all separately paid for open houses that realtors are having this weekend. So if anybody's going to be in LA, there you go. You've got Oscar's address. So I think it's pretty neat to be able to show this off. I don't get to show that off anymore as my own. It's my old training accounts a couple years ago had fake listings in them. I got to show them off then, but now I can't.
So if you have listings, that's what everybody's site could.
Yep, that's what it looked like, yep. And there is an option to turn that on and off, but I'll show you that here in a sec. So now that you've seen the website, let's go through and we'll set it up. How hard is that, right? Anybody here built their own website ever? Takes some time, doesn't it? This doesn't take much time. 5 minutes tops with the spinning wheel. Ready? First and foremost, pick an address. Any address. As long as it's not taken by somebody else who's a realtor in Listingbook, you can have it, yes.
So if you own your own website, such as through GoDaddy or something,
Right.
you have to have it pointed to this?
That is entirely up to you. Now, what would happen is this, okay? So this web address I chose is SpokaneSam.listingbook.com. Everything is .listingbook.com because we're not going out to GoDaddy and registering them for you. We can do this ad nauseum, okay? So SpokaneSam.listingbook.com. Let's say I own SpokaneSam.com. What I would do then is I have to make a decision. Do I want my old website? Do I not want my old website? Do I want to pay for both? Is my website really doing for me? What's it really doing for me? It's a business decision at that point. But if you decide that you have a domain that's not doing anything now, then you could point it. And you can even tell GoDaddy to hide the fact that it was pointed. And it'll still say SpokaneSam.com at the top when in fact it's coming here. Okay? So that's a cool thing, right? Why is that really helpful? You don't have to reprint your business cards either. It's already on your card, right? How much does a box of cards go for these days?
Too much.
Too much. So I just saved you money. Thank you, Sam. Okay. Website color scheme. Yellow, red, blue, green, and purple. In that order. Okay? Yellow, red, blue, green, and purple. Pretty much, I think we cover all the main company colors. You got your yellows, your golds, your reds, your blues. I don't know who's purple. Somebody can fill me in on that one. I was hoping just for a generic black, you know, just nice, clean, anyway. Maybe someday they'll listen to me. But just as easy to pick, you just click on one of them and click save. Just as fast as that, fast as I can click refresh, it'll be blue. Or whatever it is I just picked. It was blue. Yep. Okay. Homepage content. If you have a bunch of pre-written material about yourself, great, you copy and paste it. Okay. First and foremost, choosing a slogan. If you have one already, input it here. If you don't have one, feel free to use one of our 30 or so pre-written ones already. Where that shows is right at the top here, where mine is blank now. Let me see here. Satisfaction is my goal. Okay, make sure we save. Right there. Okay, so there's my slogan. If you have one that's really, really long, it'll start to screen wrap on you and it may not look as pretty as you hoped. Okay, so it might take some planning and finagling. And the other thing that affects the margining is the size of images. So there's a lot of different things you can play with. You'll have a little bit of fun there, if your slogan's too long. Okay. From there, do you want pre-written content or do you want to write your own? Okay, so if you have your own, notice, you see how that changed? How the HTML tags in here? And then it went away, went to the view. Okay, so it will take HTML coding in here, in this box, for bold, italics. Pretty sure you can change colors, things if you wanted to. So go play if you know your HTML still. Or if you want the pre-written, you can be the same as everybody else, because there's the pre-written. Or you can take the bone structure and reword, play around with it a little bit, okay? Gives you something, kind of a template to go from. From there, do you want to include your professional skills? Okay? Your languages you speak, your designations, etc. on your website. External links. So this is where we could add your Facebook page. So join me on Facebook with a link. Okay? Company website maybe with a link. Disneyland for me with a link. Google Maps, whatever. Okay. Professional affiliations and any community activities. I suggest filling it out as best as you can. Community activities sometimes seems silly, but it might form a connection. You know, you might find out that the person you're working with is a coach on Little League. You know, and now you guys have this connection. You know, for us, we just had our first baseball practice the other day in Spokane for the spring. 43 degrees and a 15-mile-an-hour wind. We were out there playing ball. Good times. Probably why I've got this in my hand now. And then you got your services. So this is where we can turn on and off different features of that website. Once you've got all that set and you're happy with it, show my listings in the interactive flipbook? Sure, if you've got listings, show it off, absolutely. Display my company logo, realtor logo, require new buyer phone number. Personal choice, my personal opinion, I would leave it unchecked. People tend to get really nervous when you ask them for a phone number and you demand it from them, right? Especially a prospect who you don't really know that well. And that's who we're talking about, people you don't know. So do we require it? Up to you. However, even with that said, what's to keep them from putting in 555-1212, right? Okay. Notice, even though mine is optional, it's still here. So if they want to give me a phone number, they can. We'll still collect that information, even though it's not required. So entirely up to you there. This is the default for this. It's unchecked by default. Save changes, and then testimonials. Simple thing with testimonials, type them in. Okay, it'll have a place for their name, the location, and what they said about you. They can't do this for you. You have to do it for them. Okay, so you don't have to worry about people writing a testimonial on the website for you. Some people get nervous. That was a nervous laugh in the back. All right. Now that we're done having fun setting things up, not difficult, right? So take 15 minutes and do it. It's not a difficult thing. Let's go check out the search. How do we search on this thing? Sam, you changed the system? There's my Pac-Man. There's my cheese dots. I haven't drawn a ghost on here yet. Okay, so location, city, zip, school, or neighborhood. Okay, so really, I could start typing in Boise School District, okay, and I can search by district. I don't know that I can search by specific schools from here, okay? But I can add in school locations, and I'll show you how to do that in a sec. Over here, and you can define multiple areas. So what that means, Boise, Idaho, and define multiple means that I can type in Nampa. Okay, I can do more than one all at once here. I can also add in the map stuff. And the map, really, 98% of your work and your client's work is on the map, because they don't know specifics of where zip code lines are and all that. You think school boundaries are tough to keep straight, try the zip codes, right? And then they can just go by street names and all of that and make it real nice for them. So, price, sure, from $100 to $1 million, sure. 2 bedrooms, I'm not going to max that out. Now, what dropped down here without my permission? There's a button here that says more options, okay? And that more options button allows you to get way more detail on your search. So this is dropped down, the map got pushed down below the screen here, okay? It's just below here. Single family with acreage, condo, townhouse, multifamily, land, farm, ranch, all those things are in there. Your bath, your square footage, bed count was up there. MLS number, you can search by MLS number. Street name, you can search by street name. So if you don't know the exact address, your client doesn't know the exact address, they can actually type in street name, it'll pull up all the homes that are for sale on that street, and they can pick it out by visually. Yes?
Okay, so is this a screen that, see, I have just the basic, I haven't upgraded yet, and that's why I'm here today to decide if I'm
Sure.
going to upgrade. And I noticed that on my side, I'm limited to what I can see.
Okay.
How limited are your clients on their side if you're basic?
Shouldn't be.
So they're gonna see everything, they're gonna see
Yes.
all this and still have,
Yes.
it's just I can't see,
What exactly they're doing.
okay,
Yeah. You can see that they've been on, you won't be able to see what they've been looking
I
at.
know that bugs me.
Yeah, yeah. It bugs me too, because that's the gist of this software. I mean, that's, cut to the chase. That's the main feature of this, okay? Everything else is a bell or a whistle. Website's pretty cool. Okay, so MLS number, street name, remarks. So I'm standing in, where was I? Somewhere near Hollywood, California. And an agent comes up to me and says, Sam, I have this client right now who is bugging me, who only wants to see homes that have a basement studio, recording studio. There's a strange feature, not Hollywood. Okay, Hollywood, seems like everybody has one because I was able to put in studio and it pulled 8 listings. Okay, just in their area where they were looking. Saves the client a lot of money, you can set that up yourself, soundproofing and deadening and everything else that goes into sound, okay? So any remarks like that, and those would be in listing notes, okay? Not private remarks. They won't be able to search private remarks. You may be able to, they won't be able to, because that won't even populate for them. But anything like that that they're looking for that's strange that might be in that listing note area will populate, yes?
To begin, for them to begin your search, so they have to put a location.
Yeah, when they first come into the system, let's say you invite them as a prospect, the very basic of what they have to do to even go into the system is choosing a city, a bed, bath count, and price range, just to get started. From there, it's up to them or you to narrow in on what they're after. You can take a very basic description of what they said they're after, and maybe what you've showed them in the past, and set up a search around that, and then just watch what happens. Because it's amazing what happens. Listing statuses: actives, news, price changes, back on market, pending sold, contingent sale, contingent short sale, temporary off market, rented, canceled, expired. Got a few features there, huh? Okay. Your clients aren't going to have expireds, and they're not going to have cancels. Okay, they're not going to have, you have those. Okay, yes, they can look at contingents. Yes, they can look at solds. Pendings they can see. Okay, we want to give them the pendings. We want to give them those contingents. You know what happens is that your clients start saving favorites, and then they see that their favorites are going away really fast, and then they go, oh, I got to get off the fence. Okay, if I'm ever going to buy a house, I got to get off the fence. Good place to start. Pre-qualification, right? Okay, so price reductions, new listings, those are all features you can search by. Master bath, master bed on the main level, breakfast bars, etc. Cable TV, cable company. All these things that people might want to search by. I want a fireplace. I mean 3 fireplaces. Hey, why not, right? Etc. Levels. Maybe somebody just wants a single level. Maybe they have a handicap. Maybe they have to only have a single level. Okay, that will eliminate those splits. That will eliminate those 2 and 3 level, etc. Foreclosures, potential short sale, REO, but info if it has a barn, etc. Okay, you've got these things on there. It's pretty detailed. Now, things I heard yesterday. What happened to days on market? What happened to searching by age of home? I had a midnight phone call with folks back east last night. And it's all in development. Okay? What that means is probably in the next month or so, within the next month or so, we'll start seeing those things. I was just told that days on market was a little trickier than the other, but you should be able to search by age of home. I was surprised as much as anybody. Okay? Age of home. Some people want a brand new house, and they want to search that 0 to 10 year age. Some people don't. They don't want to search that 0 to 10 year range. And they want a 15 or 20 year old house. You know? To each their own. So they're going to add that back in. We come down to the map. Oop. I have a really finicky scroll wheel. So, I was having some fun yesterday, as you can see. Drawing areas. Yes, we still have our old standby, the box. Okay. Yes, I can still draw a box. And what's really neat is I can go diagonally, make it shift it around like this, and drop a box if I want to. Yes, this causes the screen to scroll. The scrolling window of death. Spinning wheel of death, of doom, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I found a bunch more houses over there. What do you know? When you tell them 100 to $1 million, you find some stuff, right? Yesterday I was finding like 1 house, 2 houses. I was having not a lot of fun. The really neat feature here with the polygon is that I can zoom right into what I want. And let's say I'm this client, or you're doing this for them, or, okay, because their search looks just like your search from this screen, okay, for the most part, except for a few of those like, expired things and everything else is statuses. But, I mean, I could literally pick off a block here, and maybe I don't like that cul-de-sac. I can go around it, you know, and I can do these things. By the way, if you have a client that makes their home search this big, they're a pretty serious client. Maybe they found 5 houses in there, I didn't find a thing. Maybe they found 5 houses in there, and they're narrowing down, oh, maybe I will. Here it goes, let's think about it. Nope, apparently not. Oh, 1, picked up 1. You know, that's a pretty serious client, compared to somebody who, hey, can you show me a house in Twin? And, oh, by the way, I found another one in Meridian, okay? That's not such a serious client, right? Okay, would that ever happen? Does it happen? Yeah? Is that a little bit of a drive from here? I've made the drive. I know. A couple hours each direction. So, you're going to be able to tell real fast with this how serious your clients are, because you can see where they're searching, how much they're searching, etc. Now, right now in road view, what we call road view, we've got an aerial view, which shows off the swimming pools and trees. Okay, we've got all that now. And we also have bird's eye, aka the bin view. I always call this the bin view. Okay, so how neat is this? Is this cool? It's not the Google view, like you're walking down the sidewalk. That's the Google view. This is the bin view. Okay. Questions on this so far? A lot more features than the old search tool used to have. I think. Down here, how much detail do I want to see as I'm looking through these? Okay. So low, we should call the low the not enough information. Unless you like an address with a picture or a price. Okay, that's all you get. Medium, but you get more on a page. Okay. Medium, you got an MLS number at least, with a status and a price and a bed and bath count. And then high takes it one more step up. A little more detail with each. Okay. A little more detail, but hey, any one of these that you want a lot more detail, you can click on it, and you can get a lot more detail view. And notice this opened up in another page. Okay, so we've got our own X button there to be able to shut this page when we're done. But we've got the full photo. What full photo means is the same thing it always meant, even with the old listing book. And that was full information, confidential information, everything for you, the realtor. Okay. We can view all 1 photos on this particular property. All 1. Where we have trouble speaking English. Okay. Christine? Christine's not here. Okay. Christine is a upgraded user of Listingbook. I just happened across this, okay? She has a picture in here. She has the ability, we have the ability to message her right through the system. Okay? If we have a question about this property, maybe we want to schedule a showing, etc. So Christine's in here. But pretty much everything you need to know. Status, address, all these things that you would normally get on a detail sheet from the MLS. You've got remarks, interior features, square footage, miscellaneous, tax info. As long as it's input, it'll be here. Okay. I give the garbage in, garbage out speech. What school district is it in? Is that accurate? As accurate as the person who input it. Okay. That's the information we have. Is directly from the MLS. Where do we get the MLS information? Okay, everybody here inputs listings, that's where we get our information. So you see all this information. Pretty cool, yeah? Pretty cool. Pretty cool, Sam. Okay, client full photo, you'll see what they see. I'm trying here. I'm an interactive person. I'm trying. Client full photo is just that. So it's minus all of the stuff they don't need to see. Showing instructions, commission splits, agent information, all of that stuff, okay? I promise it's, see, we've deleted the whole thing. It didn't load. Area sales, I'll come back to it and see if I can get it to load. So it'll show some area sales from here. Is that a big area? Yeah. Okay. There's the house in the middle. Probably want to take that down to maybe around here somewhere, right? And you can. Community information, public records, part of the upgrade. Okay. Community information, we subscribe to it from an outside service provider. Onboard, I believe, is the name of the company. I'll be able to correct myself if I'm wrong when we get to the bottom of this, because they've got their little blurb on it. But community information, school information. So, community summary, housing inventory. You like pie charts? Anybody here more into bar graphs? Got those two. Okay. Climate and weather, temperature, weather risk, education. It's great. You got your great schools performance ratings. By the way, with the schools, school information. Here you go, with school ratings for each school.
Can you run sales stats, graphs off of this?
Yeah, like see it, right? Or,
Just like say how it showed all the sales in that area,
Uh-huh.
could you run like days on the market for all those sales, or do an area, you know, search and
more
then
through a
do
CMA
graphs?
right now because of our days on market issue. We'll add days on market back in there, and then you'll be able to select just that, and just solds, and be able to do, you know, those sorts of things. But it's kind of limited by the days on market issue at the moment, because we don't have that feature built in right at the moment.
And you will though?
Yeah, that was our talk yesterday. So, public elementary, public middle, public high, all things that people want to know, right? And here they are, you're giving it to them. Private schools, yep, Onboard is the name of the company we get this from. And going back over here, they can even compare. So let's say they're a relocation. They don't know anything about this. They just know that it's pretty here, okay? And they want to move here. They do the same thing I did when I went to Spokane. I don't know anything about Spokane. I just know it's really nice to look at, okay? So first you gotta love the place you live, right? You gotta want to look at it every day. And then you start researching what do we do with schools and what do we do with that and so forth. They can also compare by zip code. So they can punch in where they live in Chicago, and they can punch in where they're looking to live in Boise, and they can compare the two as far as cost of living and schools and all of those things. Okay, so that's a cool thing, I think. Okay, we go back to, let me close this door. There's a house for sale there, and it's buried in the dirt. Old photos from satellite imaging, right? Okay. You guys have built up a little bit in the last year. Yeah. I don't know how often maps are updated via satellite. I can't imagine they do it that often. Schools. So now I'm going to close this. I'm going to back out to road view. Okay. Notice for me real quick, because this didn't happen for me yesterday. Right, almost centered here in the middle, the house that says featured. That's a featured listing. Okay. We just happened to find out about it. Somebody's advertising that property. Okay. That's a featured flag. That's what that is. Again, we'll get to it. That's like my last 10 minutes. So we'll talk about that. Over here, schools. Let's pop in some elementary schools. If there are any right there. Zoom out a little bit. See where we found our elementary schools. There might be too many houses for sale right there. We just can't see it. Ah. When you accidentally grab the map, it has to think. Could that be annoying? Sure. Is it the end of the world? No. Where are my schools? Oh, did not save it. Middle. High school. We have schools in here, right?
This is Idaho.
Huh?
You don't have schools in Idaho.
You're telling the funnies, not me. We don't have schools in Idaho. What are you talking
But
about?
my high
We
school.
don't do that here, huh?
So Nampa's in trouble with their schools. They
Oh.
might not show.
Yeah, you know? Wow.
There's a school right on that corner.
Where at?
Locust Grove, right?
It could be that I've just missed. Should I grab the corner of my box and drag? Down here, you think? More? No? Other way?
You want to, yeah, they're like, no.
Okay. Part where those green part is? Maybe. Hoping that isn't something that resets every time I move the map, but we're gonna find out, aren't we? Yes, it did. Huh. Well, hey, yesterday I was finding schools. Maybe I need to blow this thing up and just go with it. Anyways, schools, show a little building with an apple. Okay? I know, real cutesy, right? They will. It does, I promise. Here. Do this just to cover our bases. Is there a school in here somewhere? Alright. I want to show you guys what it looks like. Alright. We'll let it take a second. I'll go through these other features as well.
Oh, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
real quick?
Yeah.
So this is all on Listingbook, right? So I've just got the basic, I mean, I can't even see what my clients are picking as favorites
Oh my goodness.
on the
that's a lot.
basic.
You're not gonna see what your clients are doing on basic.
Okay, so it
That's
has,
true.
so basically to use Listingbook effectively, to get all this data, you have to be on the front. Okay.
And it's a flat.
Flat.
149.
Yeah, 149.
149.
The actual price is $219 a year. But because of this past year's torture that we put you guys through, I'm apologizing for it. I wasn't even part of it. Okay? I wasn't around to see it. They lowered the price down to $149. Okay? When that ends, I don't know. I'm told pretty soon.
So
But
that's where you get the website and all that.
Right.
149 just flat.
149 gives you the ability to see what they're doing, gives you the website, it gives you CMAs, showing packages,
Okay.
all kinds of neat stuff like that.
What's the regular price?
$219 a year, or $19.95 a month. But I'm still here, so $149 this year. Okay, if you choose to sign up now, and then next year it would be the regular price. You know what I think? I think I just can't find the schools because there's so many houses for sale. I think I'm just going cross-eyed looking at all the little dots. Yeah, maybe.
I can't find schools either.
Yeah. Found the featured listings. Those stand right out. That's a good thing. Let's see here. Maybe my compass rose come in handy. Anyway, health, fire, rescue is a feature. So hospitals, fire, police, shopping, grocery market, retail, health, food, and recreation, golf clubs, okay, golf courses, not bowling alleys. Okay, we don't do bowling alleys. We just do golf courses, and health clubs. And boat ramps. Is there a boat ramp around here? Yeah? We can't find schools, we're not finding boat ramps either. Anywho. Alright, questions on search, features of search. I've told you pretty much what I know, so if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. Your client manager. Adding people. Who wants to know how to add people? No. Another 25 minutes. Need a break? Need to stretch for 2 minutes? Anybody? No. 2 minutes? Okay. I'll grab water. You can have a 2-minute stretch. Then we'll get into the client manager and adding people. Okay.
password yet, but ended up getting on.
I wonder if it'll show.
There's two, there's IMLS and
I'm on training CTR,
Yeah.
training center.
Training.
And I can't see the password, but I know it was something silly. Silly, simple. Wait, show characters. Training 123 with a capital T.
That's under training center.
Yep. Training 123 with a capital T. And iPad forever, remember it.
What's that?
Your iPad forever. Yeah, iPad forever, remember that for you.
So that's training, what's what? Yep. Let's just do that.
And then the deal is there.
Where?
Training parts. That's
Oh.
the login.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Well, I just started getting emails, so.
I hope 211 again someday. 2 iPads, 2 iPhones, and an iPod in the house. No real computers as much as this thing.
Anything? Ken?
The bottom line is, yeah, so you get those things, the CMA, the CMA logo, sign up for more calls.
That's fine. Okay, I see you.
It says between 19.
It does, yeah, no, but it's 149. That's what I was saying.
They sign up on the internet.
They were doing 2.
So you have to use
But
this.
then as a sales guy.
Whatever company said you use this one.
Easier for you. Easier for you.
No, they're trying to.
Before you see easy for property commercial.
And they only get ordered.
So do you use this program?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, things out there to use.
I know. Use it sometimes.
All right, you can break over.
I just technology, everything that works.
Yeah, I couldn't pull up schools, I couldn't pull up shopping, I couldn't pull up anything, it's like, wait a minute here.
Once you hit over there, see it. So what should happen is.
Right out here.
Yeah, that's true, I didn't like it.
So all the houses are sent to me.
Or, yeah? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice, how the stuff they do is
Did
good.
it say that they're
Yeah,
full?
look at this one. Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I'm new, so I'm sorry.
Instead of taking it out.
I need to call them so much
What
time.
we used to do.
Somebody in the buttons to know what first.
Separate.
But it can be 12 years.
Separate.
Sure.
So I'm not gonna go to
When I
this.
first started, my broker at that point.
Are we good?
She was one
Do it a break over?
bring this stuff in.
Uh-huh.
And that's the nice of that. That was the old realty executives. They're not even around.
Oh, yeah.
I got her own, we got her own, they had a real estate girl.
Then I don't know, Madeline sits in the bar and gets girls.
That'd be great. And
They've
then-
gone like
So I was
that.
trying to get logged on and I can't. So I went to talk to the tech, well, I went to talk to Nick, cause he's my magician, and it won't log
He's got
on.
nothing in his lungs for you?
No. Yeah, it won't pick up the wireless.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the break.
Oh, no problem. Everybody stretched, refreshed. Fastest 20 minutes of your life went up. Okay, so, water in your computer, bad. Okay. Client manager. So I just clicked over here before we broke. Your client manager. So you've got view clients, add a client, import prospects, property notes, create CMAs. Down here in my client view, I've got me, I've got Joe Montana, I've got my wife who's still never logged in, Oscar, my buddy Oscar. You keep talking about this new system, Sam. When am I going to see it? I said, oh, I got to wait to do that for you. Let me sign you up for a Listingbook account in Boise. He wants to see it before everybody else gets it. See, Southern California, they're probably a good year away yet from this. They're still in the old system. Okay. Oscar, Billy Bob, Michael Jackson, and Uncle Si. Anybody watch the Duck Guys? Anywho, each one of these people has their individual folder, just as before. Each one of them is telling me how many homes were sent to them, okay, initially when I set them up. How many they've looked at. Their favorites, their rejects, their notes are all still here. Address, again, is as a seller. So here's your dividing line. Now they're also a seller. And here are their homes that they're potentially selling or watching, okay, as a seller. Competition over here with those homes, 7 new, 15 new, 20 new, 18 new. Competition for this one is scarce. That one's in Spokane. I tried it, okay, didn't work. Trying to break the system, that's what I do, okay. Last time they logged in, and then the source. Over here it says user created, that's me. Okay, if I add them in myself, it's user created. Okay, if they're anything but that, they'll say something else. Not sure what it says exactly. I can still search for whoever I want to search for. Up here, kind of like Excel, how you can sort things. You can do that here too. So search results, if I want to, or views, I should say. Let's say views, and I have 13 customers, and one seen 27, the other one seen 13. I can sort them by how many views, okay, top to bottom, or top or bottom to top. Show 10 at a time is where I'm at. You can do 20, 30, 40 at a time now, instead of just 10 and having to change pages all the time. And one other really neat thing that I like, okay, especially as a trainer, okay, is that I can show clients and prospects all on one screen. Before the old system, remember you had clients and you had prospect button. You had to remember to go push to make sure that you went and saw, to make sure that, hey, I don't know who's over there and what they're doing. Because your prospects, even though they're also getting morning reports and even though they're able to search for everything just like everybody else, they don't show up on your morning report. So it's kind of an out of sight, out of mind. Okay? Now you can search and sort by one or the other, or both. Okay? And that's a really neat thing because it took me 10 minutes to explain it one time. I had to go over there every once in a while to make sure you're seeing everybody. So those are where I'm keeping up to date. Adding clients. So my current customers, my current prospects that I've talked to recently, these are the people I'm adding myself. Okay.
What did you say the competition is?
Competition. Oh, so that's competition to that particular property. So houses that are for sale within whatever the radius is that we set up, or within a price range. And I'll show you where we set that up here. Blue screen. Every once in a while I'm known to click my impatient button. It's that big one at the top with the circle that says reload. My impatient button. Did I get kicked off? Power local internet access. We still look okay there. I kicked my impatient button. It kicked me back. All right, adding a client. Adding buyer, seller, prospect. Do you want them to be a buyer? Do you want them to be a seller? Do you want them to be both? Is that the set in stone thing? No. Do buyers become sellers? Sellers become buyers? Yeah. Okay, so we fluctuate with them. It'd be really neat if I could get that thing to say take a break, eat a snack, have a glass of water. Okay. Add a client. So are they a client or a prospect? Again, no difference to them in the system. The difference is for you. Who shows up on your morning report, who does not. Okay. First name, last name, email, choose a client type. So in our case, buyer, seller, or both. I'm going to do both. And we're going to put in, who's it going to be? I don't know. Mickey Mouse. Sure. Why not? And client. And so now we're done if we want to be. Okay? If we want to be done, we can be done here. Congratulations, you've created an account for Mickey Mouse. In order for this client to receive morning reports, a home finder needs to be created. Do I want to go ahead and continue and create the home finder, or do I want to skip it? I can skip it, and they get their invitation for Listingbook, and they're asked to set up city and bed bath count and a price range. Or if this is somebody I've been showing homes, I'm going to be a little nicer. I'm going to go through and set something up that probably equates to what I've been showing them already. Okay, so again, just like the search tool, except this it's up and down instead of left to right a little bit. Okay, but I can choose single family or whatever they're looking for. If it's a townhome too, I can set the price range, the bed bath count, all those same features that you saw before. Okay. Scroll wheel bad. Okay. And I can go back through here. I can do my silly searches. Okay. Down here, property type. If you're looking for duplexes, anybody here work with investors? Okay. Land, farm, ranch, etc. I've found 0 homes in my home finder.
If we just put their names in as a new client, will it automatically send an invitation?
Yes. Yep. Okay, so do note that you can go back through here later. If you click kind of close to the line, it'll bring up all those points you put in before and you can adjust them. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save. And I found 3,258 homes for sale by type. Okay, that's single family and townhomes. Type and area reduced me down to 135 within that box that I created, if you can call that a box. Okay. Type area price range 128. Finally, we're down to 123. Over here is a little review of what we set up.
What took us from 128 to 123?
Properties and home finder, type area price range. Did we click on anything else? I don't know.
Okay.
Good question. Because there's nothing else there that would do that. We can go through that whole list and find out. Maybe there's a status issue. Might be a status issue. Assign a property to this client. View home finder results. Edit home finder criteria, or I'm finished. Close this. So if we're finished, we're finished. If we're going to go ahead and set up a home, their house for sale, okay, as a potential seller, we're going to do that next. But know that, you know, if 123 is too much for you, you can go edit. Okay. Or if it's too little, maybe you found 2 things and you were too specific. So I'm going to go ahead and assign. And so say, congratulations. It's already done this once, right? Continue. So in order for this client to receive morning reports, the property needs to be assigned as a seller this time. So now we're adding seller services. So here we are. We're in Mickey Mouse's folder. Okay? There's his folder name at the top. His account information is here. Home finder. That's what we just set up. This is home finder. Of course, he hasn't logged in yet, so we're not going to see views, favorites, agent picks, or rejects. Okay? Rejects are just as important as what they look at. Because now you know, probably even more important, you know what they don't like. you know what they don't want to see. Agent picks is just that. You can go to any property in Listingbook, you yourself as an agent, and say assign this property to somebody, okay? And that will send it to them as a suggestion. Hey, I know you haven't been searching 3 blocks over this way, but there is a house for sale that meets your criteria. Maybe you want to go see it. That's what you're saying to them, okay? So you have that ability as well. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And local knowledge is a good thing. So who wants to shoot me an address?
1117 North 63rd in Nampa.
Yeah. What was it?
83666.
You're lying to me. It's going to tell me.
It might tell you a lie.
Residential?
Yes.
Single family? Approximate price. Value. Approximate.
$299.
Continue. We can't find that. Ta-da. Is that it? That'd be it. Now, this thing defaults to 4 square miles. Is that a pretty big area? Depends on where you're at, right? If you're looking at farms, might not be enough. In a city, way too much. But it defaults there. And in this case, it defaulted, it doesn't square and it doesn't care where. Okay, so it went right over a freeway and everything. We can adjust that. We can take it, we can move it, we can play with it, we can do whatever we want. As long as Sam's hand is steady enough to do it. Okay. Oh, by the way, yes, we can use the polygon here too. Okay. So that is available. So number of properties that it's considering as competition. Low price $259.9, high price $349.9, average price $320. Okay. Up here, I forgot to point out, we've got price ranges. It defaults to 20%, okay, high and low. You can adjust to 10, 15, 20, or 25. And then down here, the addresses, okay, so actives, pendings, yes, they'll be sold in here as well. If they're sold in here, they will pull up. But it'll show all of those things that are competitive to it, okay? This is a simple, basic search for purposes of the morning report. We also have the CMA tool, which is way more detailed, and you can put in the age of the home, and you can do all of those things there, okay?
So the percentage across the top tells you, what's the percentage of?
Plus, well, it's a plus and minus, so what we're shooting for in this case is, let's call him a potential seller. Mickey Mouse is potentially selling a home that we may not know the exact value of. So we had said $299, right? And so at plus minus 20% to $299 is that price range. Okay. If we want to narrow it down to 15%, because $239 to $259 is too much, or $359 is too much.
So it's the percentage of your
what you put in.
What you plug in.
Right, exactly. Percentage of what we plugged in. So down here it's telling me the average price is actually $320. Okay, so maybe we came in a little low. I don't know. Okay, we can do more analysis on that too with a CMA.
It's an older house and all those competitives are
Probably
15
garbage.
years newer than.
Probably garbage comparisons, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? So that's setting up a seller. Okay. Like it or not. All right. You can always give them a CMA, and that's a significant thing anyhow. That was adding buyer, adding seller. Difficult? Nah. Time consuming? Maybe. You get it down. Okay. It's not a hard process. Importing prospects, just the nicest process. Okay. Manual entry or file import. Manual entry can take a while if you have 40, 50 people you're putting in. Okay. My cutoff would probably be about 25. At 25, my time spent converting a file to a CSV could be spent just typing the darn thing up, but I type rather quickly. Okay. Usage may vary. Manual entry is really good for open houses. Let's say you're there, you have internet, possibly with you. you can collect prospect information right here, right through Listingbook. First, last name, email, phone number if you want, sign them up, okay? If you don't have internet, what you can do, and this really works, is just put the computer to sleep, not close the window, because you still have all that data filled out. And then when you get back to internet, you open the lid and click submit then, okay? So make sure you don't close the window because you'll lose it all. It'll be gone. I promise, it'll be gone. But for everything else, file import. How many of you have a long list of clients? Past clients. Your sphere of influence is hundreds, thousands maybe, okay? You can import a CSV file from anywhere really. Top producer, Microsoft Office, or your suggested, because that's what most realtors use, but anywhere where you can get a CSV file out. Does anybody know what a CSV file is? A couple of you. CSV is comma separated value. That's even more confusing than what I just said. You'll remember CSV because CVS is where you buy your drugs. CSV is a file type, okay? Now you remember what I was talking about. Really simply write Microsoft Excel. If you have it on an Excel spreadsheet, change the file type. So you save as, file type CSV. Mac users, you have a lot of options for CSV. CSV for Windows is your option that'll work here. Okay. You click continue. What it does is it just takes you to a screen where it says, browse for the file on your hard drive, basically. Select the file, click import. What then happens is the wheel spins and spins and spins and spins and spins, depending on how long the list is. I wouldn't suggest going over 5,000 in any one list, okay? Because bad things happen if it's waiting too long and the internet decides to shut you off. But what will happen from there is, let's say you did 200, okay? You'll have 200 names and 200 of these boxes going down, where then you can then select who you really want to import and who you don't. Okay? Everybody's checked off, but then you get to go through and uncheck your realtor friend who works in the office with you because you don't want them to know what you're doing. And you can uncheck those people who, great Aunt Mary in Chicago, who, why on earth would I give her an account here? And all those things, all those people you don't want to have an account, you can uncheck from here before you click submit, and it sends them each their own individual invitation listing book. Okay, really neat feature. My suggestion with that though, warn them ahead of time. Okay, you've got all these old contacts, you've got all these old folks, all in your database. Maybe you haven't talked to them in a long time. Tell them you've got this really neat tool that you're going to give them. It'll allow them to search the MLS real time. Okay, is it real time? No, we update every 30 minutes, but would they know any different? Probably not. They can change their own search, they can set their search, they can do whatever they want in the system. You're going to give them this great tool in a couple of days. Be on the lookout for an invitation. Okay, you'll get a lot more mileage out of it that way. You get a lot more people saying, yes, I'll take it. And that's what you want out of this. Okay, questions on adding, questions on importing? We're good? You got the nuts and bolts of what this is, okay? So being able to see what your clients do. Being able to have that full-featured website, okay, with the data captured. Being able to run CMAs. You know what, I'm going to go back over to my presentation now. From current slide. I'm going to be able to read this, okay? Marketing tools, the CMAs. We have custom flyers in here. So how many of you create your own flyers? Okay. How many of you have people who do that in your office? Okay. How many of you actually enjoy creating a flyer? It happens, right? A couple hands go up. But how many of you enjoy that 8 o'clock on Friday night phone call that says, my box is empty, what do I do? Never, right? So you'll have the ability to already have a flyer done. They're already done, okay? And you can grab that flyer. I'm going to fast forward here to the flyer. Flyer's already done. All you have to do is send it to your client within Listingbook and say, here you go, print out 1 or 200 on glossy paper, and I'll see you next week. Okay? All right? They're already features in there. That's more of an advanced talk. It's probably in the help section as well on how to set up exactly what you want and how you want it laid out and everything. But that's just a sample. Showing packages. You're going out with a buyer. Yes, you can print the property detail page out for them, just like you would, okay? You can print out pictures, but who does that, right? They're gonna go see it. They have their own pictures. They can take their own pictures. Everybody's got one of those cameras on their phone now. This page here, the property detail, being able to go through and say what they like and don't like specifically about a house. Make comments to themselves. And by the way, it does have a lead shot on it so they can remember, oh yeah, that was that house. Okay, that's an important tool. How many times have you shown somebody more than 5 houses in a day? What do they remember? Nothing. Maybe the last one. Maybe the first one.
But they
Nothing
remember
in
it with
between.
the wrong bathroom or the wrong.
Right, and they're remembering that house's bathroom with this other house, it's a mess, right? This is a good thing for that, okay? Part of the CMA tool, part of seller tools. Being able to see in any given price range what's going on in the market right now. So this one on my screen, I'm going to read it. What's highlighted there is 155, 300 to 158, almost 500 is the price bracket, okay? And in that price category, where the house is listed, that's what's highlighted. There are 6 homes for sale and 3 have sold. When have they sold? None in the last 30 days, 1 in the last quarter, none the quarter before that, 1 third quarter out, 1 fourth quarter out. So quarter 1 is actually a year ago, okay? And moving forward to the day I opened this file, the day I opened this report. I open it tomorrow, it might be different, okay? And all those dates and the ranges will be spelled out down here, just below where it's this screen captured. Leads. Who likes free leads? Everybody loves a free lead. How qualified are they? As much as they have an email address, okay? Prospects who enter Listingbook are assumed to be buyers. You're an agent up here, you get a lead from Twin Falls. How many of you have driven to Twin Falls on a consistent basis to go sell houses living here? Never. Why on earth would we give you a lead from Twin Falls? Might find out by calling these folks or emailing them that they have a house they're selling there and they're actually looking to buy up here. They were just looking for data down there to see what houses were selling for. Okay, so they might have been trying to buck the system and trying to see what's going on where they actually live now with plans to move here. So definitely contact them and don't brush it off as a, what is this? Okay, but we'll give you free leads with the upgrade. That happens too. Statistical data, it's a national data that we've been collecting this for years. Okay, and in markets that we're in, year 1, year 2, year 3, we're beyond this now here, but statistics have proven that those who are using Listingbook at all, or even, okay, are doing a lot better than realtors who aren't, just for the fact of being able to watch and see and help assist in everyday stuff. Property promotions, I know we're past. Being able to advertise open houses, being able to advertise as a featured listing. Featured listing is all online, and open house is what? An open house, which means you have to do what? Be there. Why am I having this conversation? We've had realtors not show up, thinking that it was all online. And we've gotten phone calls many, many times back to customer service. We got there, it was scheduled, what happened? So, you know what to do. This allows you to market, though. Okay, so from property promotions, gives you a list of all your properties that are for sale. And it tells you how many potential buyers there are for that property based on what they're searching for. Do we know them? No. Do they have realtors? Yes, because they were given an account and they accepted that account through Listingbook. Okay, and this is where it gets really neat. So there are, for this property here, Coffee Circle, 55 potential buyers plus 55 potential agents that will see this if I decide to have an open house and promote it here, or even do a featured listing and promote it here. It is going to get blasted to them every day, every single day for a week. Or in the case of an open house, every single day until that open house occurs, okay? Including the day that it occurs. And what happens, we've seen this today, saw the featured flag, okay, on the map. So anybody can actually see it, right? I wasn't sent that, I just happened to cross it. So that's a good thing. Featured listing, So it's a featured listing, it's great for entertaining, it says it's featured. Open houses do that same kind of thing, but a couple days before the open house, it sends out an invitational flyer to those people as well. Okay, now, listing book is from you to your client. Let's say I'm this random realtor who has this listing and I'm gonna have an open house on this weekend. And I advertise it, and because I saw that it's gonna go to 55 people, and I decided to advertise it. And it shows up on all of your clients. Let's say you've got a client who's interested in it, by the way they search. And you've got a client who's interested in it, by the way they search. Who's that from? That invitation.
Better be me.
It's you. You're darn right it's you. Okay? So that's where you spit your coffee all over your screen and go, what did they do to me? No. Okay? It's a relaxed point. This is now a talking point for you and your client. You get to call them and say, hey, Joe Smith, did you see that open house that I invited you to? Did you do it? No. Right? Does it look like you did it? Yeah, so claim it. Okay? See that open house I sent you? I sent it to you because it's what you're looking for. It fits your price, it fits what you're looking for, it's you know, and all this stuff. Would you like to go see it with me sooner? I have time this weekend, would you like to go with me? I can take you through. Or, you know what, I have an open house myself. Here are a couple of cards. Please drop them by when you go see it, okay? Or, you know what, my mistake. Never mind. Okay, so if it's something that's like, oh, forget it. My mistake, never mind. But talk to them about it. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. So they're going to see those on their morning reports. Okay, here's the morning report. It's going to show a featured listing. It's going to be highlighted. It's going to be outlined. It's going to be, I don't think it flashes or anything, but you know, pretty close. The report. Remember in the settings I talked about, I said I'd talk about this, the end of the week report on the open house or featured listing, and that's really what it is. Target marketing services, the results of that marketing. The what have you done for me lately report to your seller. Do they ever ask you that? What have you done for me? What are you doing? What are we doing to get this sold? What's going on? And you keep saying price, 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 and they don't listen. They just keep asking the same question over and over. Promotion overview. Agent views, buyer views, agent picks for their client. How many were expected because they were targeted, and how many people added as a favorite. Okay, great report that you can hand your client at the end of the week and say, this is what I'm doing for you. I advertised it. This is what it did. Okay, open houses, featured listings, regardless of the free service or the professional service of Listingbook, the upgraded service, can be purchased. They're a separate fee. $24.95 a piece, but we sell them. I think it's I keep wanting to say 2 for $50, 2 for $45, I think. But you know, one of our more popular packages for those who have listings is 7 for $100. Okay, but without listening to all that, with the upgraded service, so $219 is the normal price, $149.95 while I'm here. I give everybody 2 free property promotions anyway for signing up with me today. Okay, so that's $50 worth of stuff, in addition to the drop price already, in addition to everything else that's going on. Questions? I see questions. I see concerned faces. You got quiet on me.